Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to more Total Extreme Wrestling. My name is Brendan Plays, and of course, our All Elite Wrestling save just before our Revolution pay-per-view. And of course, a quick recap of what we got planned for Revolution. We got the big ladder match where we're going to have a couple debuts. Andrade, we're finally bringing him in. Swerve's coming in as well. Keith Lee getting rolling there as well. And of course, we've got Jay Lethal, Christian, Ray Phoenix, Orange Cassidy, Will Hobbs to round out that match. Cody and Kenny for the world title, CM Punk, MJF, Danielson and Cole, Wild Things, Red Dragon. A couple of really good matchups there. Cargill, Statlander and Martinez. That should be okay, I think. I'm hoping. We got Superbad and TJ for the women's tag. Cage and Starks for the FTW World. And Darby and Malachi versus the Young Bucks. That'll be for the World Tag Team Championships. I think that's a pretty good card. I think that's a strong card. There's a few big names that are missing. For example, Chris Jericho, not on the card. So what we can do post-Revolution is kind of reset a little bit and really kind of think about how we're going to incorporate some of our biggest names, what's our direction for a lot of different guys, and kind of go from there. So that's what we're hoping to do, Revolution, because, you know, we've got so many new guys. You know, we've got Swerve, we've got Keith Lee, Andrade, you know, still so many guys that are still fairly new, like Malachi, for example, Jay Lethal, and Samoa Joe, we're bringing him in as well. So there's so many names that it's almost like, well, geez, who's where? Who's going to get pushed? Who's going to be a main event guy? Who's going to be in the mid card? Where do we see everybody? That's what we're going to do after Revolution, kind of reset, rethink, and kind of position everybody where we want them to be. So it's going to be a bit of a job to do, but we're going to focus on just having the best possible card we can at Revolution, and that's what we're going to do for this episode. We're going to continue to build towards it. So let's jump into our episode of Dynamite. On the pre-show, Wheeler Yuta took on Tony Nese for a 40 rated match. Wheeler Yuta sustaining a strained bicep. Don't think that'll keep him out for too long, but Tony Nese grabbed the victory. Nese 47, Yuta 31. As I've mentioned in previous times, you know, I don't really see Yuta as that big star that I think AEW might see in real life, you know, putting him in the Blackpool Combat Club. That's not where I feel like he should be. I feel like he's a bit of a fish out of water. I just don't think he suits that group. So for me, I'm not going to go in that direction. Unfortunately for Wheeler, it kind of means he's not going to get that big push. Instead, Tony Nese grabs a win here. Nese, again, I don't have much big plans for him either. I mean, he could be someone that we might just send a Ring of Honor just to be a good working guy in the mid-card to help, you know, the young talent there. And he gets a bit of heat, Tony Nese, because people feel like he did cause the botch that caused injury. Will Hobbs grabs a win over Michael Nakazawa, 41 rated, 3-minute match. Will Hobbs, 63 performance. Really starting to come into his own. Will Hobbs doing really well. I'm hoping that he has a good match at a good performance in the ladder match at the pay-per-view. Reynolds and Silver, the Dark Order, got defeated by Proud and Powerful for 60. So Proud and Powerful, they're a team again. We just have never utilized them all that much. And I feel like, okay, what's next for them now? We've kind of ended the Inner Circle. We've gone away from that. Where do they kind of fit? Where do they go from here? So we give them a match here to see where they're at. And a 68 and a 70 performance, respectively, from Santana and Ortiz is really good. I like that. We can work with that. They're certainly good enough to be in the Tag Team Championship mix. And now the plan is probably to get the belts off the Young Bucks, and that will bring the belts down the card a little bit, and that does open up an opportunity for the Proud and Powerful team to be more involved in the championship race. Okay, we open up this week's show with Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, and the debuting Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe debuts his Samoan Submission Machine gimmick, rated as great. Fantastic start, that's really good. So Kenny Omega last week teased that he's got another plan for Cody Rhodes, and he's got one last guy in mind that's gonna, you know, really test Cody Rhodes to his limits. In the end, it's revealed that Samoa Joe is Cody Rhodes' hand-picked opponent by Kenny Omega. So it will be Joe and Cody in our main event. That's gonna be a big match right there and then. So obviously Kenny Omega thinks Samoa Joe is gonna come in and be, you know, this badass heel that's going to destroy Cody and really weaken him for him heading into the pay-per-view. So we'll see how that plays out in the end. 99 rated, really good stuff, and a great way to start Samoa Joe's run in AEW. We had a 5-on-5 women's tag team match, 67 rated. Gotta love the eye candy. You gotta love it. It's not great, but it certainly works. 67. Best of the match was Jessie McKay, 70. We might as well read out who was actually in it. We had TJ, Thunder, Ruby, and Chris Statlander all teaming up to take on Nyla Superbad and the Inspiration. So, yeah, look, incredible stuff from Jessie McKay, 70, Cassie Lee, 64, very good herself. Chris Statlander, 64 as well. Ali, 66, was great. So, overall, some good efforts, some good performances. This is probably the best women's match we've ever had, and that's sad to say. It was a 5-on-5, and it's the best, but look, it is what it is. Anna Jay picked up the win when she pinned Ali. So that, of course, advances the Tay J and Superbad storyline. We kind of mix in a few different of our top women in this one just to get them involved, get them some TV time, whilst also progressing, as we said, that storyline there. So good stuff. The Dark Order was defeated by Red Dragon in a 56 rated match. Kyle O'Reilly, 76, Bobby Fish, 64. So Red Dragon getting ready for their big match against the Wild Things with a win there. Keith Lee cuts a promo on the upcoming ladder match, 67 from him. I like the team of Keith Lee and Swerve in real life. I'm not sure if I really want to replicate that here because I feel like Keith Lee has so much potential as a singles. Bringing him with Swerve, I don't think will bring them down, but I feel like Keith Lee certainly could be a guy that could challenge for that TNT championship and be that sort of champion and really have success there. So I'm a little bit torn. I like that team. It's always great to have teams. I think they can be loosely affiliated. I feel like that might be a way to go. Maybe they're a tag team on and off, but a full-on tag team run with those two, I'm not sure. Chris Statlander and Mercedes Martinez went one-on-one. 15-minute match, this time not eye candy, just a straight-up singles, 48 rated. So actually Statlander doing double duty here. That was an oversight on my behalf, but nonetheless, she had a match here with Martinez, and it was pretty good. So that advances the Martinez and Statlander storyline, and Martinez got the win. So I guess you could say, well, hey, she already competed earlier on in the night, double duty, so she's a bit fatigued. But yeah, that was an oversight from me. I just kind of forgot that I threw her into that tag team match, but nonetheless, good chance to get her out there and, show us what she can do. I mean, she probably got a bit of a penalty maybe from being overexposed for the night. No, maybe not, but we'll see at the end of the show, I'm sure. Alright, the Blackpool Combat Club cut a promo on the Undisputed Elite. William Regal, Eddie Kingston, of course, would put him in the group with Moxley and Danielson, 76 rated. Pretty decent. I feel like you could do more with that, but we are trying to get Eddie Kingston over by having him in these talking segments and being more involved. So that's going to come at a price. It's going to bring the storyline and maybe the promos down a little bit to try and boost up Eddie, and I think that's kind of worth it. I feel like Eddie's around 50 popularity, if that, in our game. In real life, he's probably a good 65, I reckon, maybe even 70. So he's got a long way to go to get to where he should be. All right, Ricky Starks has a backstage assault on Brian Cage. Taz is there to encourage him along, so Brian Cage hanging out backstage. Ricky Starks assaults him, blindside attack to try and take him out ahead of their upcoming match, 62 rated. In what could definitely be a main event, it was Nick Jackson and Malachi Black one-on-one. Obviously, House of Black and Young Bucks meeting at the pay-per-view, so a teaser here of what is to come. 84 rated between Malachi and Nick Jackson. Malachi grabbed the win, 20-minute match, putting Nick Jackson down, so kind of giving them a bit of a big boost heading into the pay-per-view. Nick Jackson outperformed him though, 79 from him, 77 from Malachi. But a great match in the end, 84, really good stuff, and that should hopefully boost up that storyline quite a lot. The Pinnacle brag about destroying CM Punk and say that CM Punk's not going to make it to Revolution. So last week, the Pinnacle, MJF took out CM Punk in an assault of his own, 93 rated for this segment, and he's bragging about how Punk is not going to make it to the pay-per-view. I feel like the Pinnacle was a hugely wasted opportunity from AEW, so I'm going to keep that group going. I think FTR being associated with MJF is good for them. It's good for Wardlow. It's good for Sean Spears. Now, I love what they were doing with Wardlow in real life, and I feel like for us, yes, we could take that plunge because he's already got 70 popularity. He could do, he could be there. He could be that guy. But for us, I think, still being in this role is good, but I think rather than kind of being that guy that just does MJF's dirty work, I think he should just be that badass in the group that just destroys. Just kind of shift gears a little bit, rather than just being that, that sidekick guy. Put a bit more emphasis on him, make him more of the badass, the killer of the group. That's, they stick him on someone and he takes him out. That sort of deal, rather than just kind of, the bodyguard. We could give him a bigger role in the group without having him, needing to turn babyface and do whatever. So I feel like we can do more with the Pinnacle without splitting it up, more with the same guys in the Pinnacle without actually splitting them up and going their separate ways. Christian with a promo on the ladder match, 84 from him. That's a strong promo from Christian. A guy who, in real life, not really doing a lot for us as well in our game. His roles shifted a little bit. When we first brought him in, he was a big deal. He was going to be, a low-tier main event guy. Since then, so many other new guys have come along. He's fallen down the card a little bit. Christian, I think, is a guy who probably should have his own stable. In a stable, him as the leader, with a good young tag team, similar to Jurassic Express, but maybe in a heel sort of way. Maybe, I guess, like what Matt Hardy had, but actually good. Christian could be the mentor to a really good, strong tag team, and they could be a nice little trio. Who that would be, I'd have to think about it, but I think that could be what we do with Christian, rather than him just try and be a solo act as a main event guy. He's just not going to get pushed. He's going to get beaten. He's going to lose. But we could use him to elevate another tag team instead, and that might be a better way for him to really get over. Main event time, Samoa Joe gets his first real big chance on the main stage here in AEW, as he had a one-off appearance a while ago before, when he got released the first time. We brought him in and then he had to leave because he got re-signed back to NXT. Now he's released again, now he's joined AEW for real, and now he gets a chance to be a part of the roster for real. Cody Rhodes, though, does defeat Samoa Joe, and it's because Kenny Omega interfered and tried to cost Cody Rhodes the match. In the end, he actually cost Samoa Joe the match. So Joe loses his debut. Not ideal to have him lose, but I guess you're losing to the world champion. If you're going to lose to someone, that's okay. And again, it's because Kenny Omega cost him the match. So he gets protected a little bit. He still gets a big main event scenario, big opportunity to show us what he can do. And what it does do is it creates a bit of heat, because we know Cody Rhodes is leaving the company. He's going to lose the belt, and that's it. Cody's done. So what it does give us is that it gives us a direction beyond Revolution. So Samoa Joe and Kenny Omega can, have a bit of history already. There's an interaction already there. We got a bit of heat between those two before we actually do, I guess, jump ship and change gears into that direction. So 77 for the match. Post-match, Kenny Omega, his plan backfires as Joe puts Kenny to sleep, and he ends up shaking Cody Rhodes' hand. So, yeah, Joe shows us that he is a good guy. He respects Cody Rhodes despite the fact he lost. It's fine. It was because of Kenny, and he puts the Kokiri clutch on Kenny to put him out. So you nearly could almost shift gears and make this a triple threat. You could, but still, I think the one-on-one match is the money, and that's what we're going to do to have Kenny with that big crowning moment taking out Cody. But as I said, gives us something we could go to beyond the pay-per-view. In the end, an 83 rated show, so a good show. We had Malachi and Nick Jackson was good, Cody and Samoa Joe was good, so an 83 rated show gives us a big momentum jolt heading into the pay-per-view. Alright, we're going to have a quick pit stop with Ring of Honor before we get back over to AEW, and we've made some roster moves, and more importantly, a big one here, Cesaro. We're going to bring him into Ring of Honor rather than AEW, and I think you got to bring him in as a babyface, so I think that's good for us. Amber Moon as well. I think we were thinking about bringing her into AEW. It looks like we probably will, but maybe Ring of Honor as well might give us an option. She would be good. I mean, Athena, she would be pretty good for our main roster, but Ring of Honor does desperately need women as well, so I think that could also be a good option. But for Ring of Honor, I mean, let's have a look at the main event situation. Who have we got to could really make this brand something? So there isn't a lot of option. You got Dalton Castle, Jay Briscoe, and Jay Lethal is technically the major players on the brand. Further down the card, Brody King, Gresham, Kenny King, the other Briscoe, Matt Taven. We got Minoru Suzuki, he's there. Paige Van Zandt, PJ Black, Red Titus. There's some okay names. Obviously, no one is going to really move the needle. Mike Bennett's involved. Jake Atlas is there. He might be gone because of some real life stuff has gone down with him. I haven't looked into that though. But, there is some guys there that we've kind of got in developmental that we want to focus on. With Hook, for example, he's there. The Guns. But there really isn't much name value. That's why bringing in somebody like Cesaro is really good for the roster. He can just kind of come in and be that big star that the brand needs. There's a few guys that haven't got a position yet. Alex Zane, Cesaro, Colin Cassidy, we brought him in. I think he might do okay there. I wouldn't even be opposed to bringing Enzo as well and have that group be an active Ring of Honor. Big Damo as well. He's going to come in, so he's a good name. The other one, well, you know, John Morrison, Johnny Elite. Well, he's going to be Johnny Honor. Johnny Honor in Ring of Honor. So I guess that for us is good because we've got Johnny Honor and Cesaro now, which is great. Both of them as a babyface, I don't think that's going to work. I think one of them needs to go heel. Now, I feel like Cesaro would be the appropriate choice to stay babyface. I feel like he's just got a bit more fanfare. People want to cheer him. People want to support him. Whereas Johnny Honor, I think you could get away with him being more of that dickhead heel a bit more. So we'll bring him in as a heel. And he's got 63 pops, Cesaro's got 67. All of a sudden, you got two really strong main event stars there for the brand, which I really, really like. Mike Chiodo, he's going to be the referee there as well. Todd Sinclair, they needed some referees. They didn't have any, so that's good. They need refs. So happy with that. Very, very happy with that. And hopefully, you know, it's enough to at least get Ring of Honor to a decent little point. You know, we've got their first pay-per-view, their anniversary show in 24 days. So we're going to keep building towards that, and I think we might even do some of our own storylines and kind of keep an eye on what's going to happen there. Keep booking the shows until, you know, we're happy and, you know, Ring of Honor kind of is underway. Definitely need some more women. That's definitely a must. So we might scour the independents and the free agents to see who can be a good addition to that roster. But I like the fact that, you know, Cesaro now, Johnny Honor, I think we've got something. We've got a couple of building blocks there, and we can always send a few guys down there for some one-off appearances to kind of bump up their cards whenever they're not really doing well. Especially the pay-per-view Ring of Honor anniversary show. I feel like even putting a Bryan Danielson there for the one-off, you know, one-off match there, or an Adam Cole, a big former Ring of Honor star, you know, that could be a great way to boost that pay-per-view and make it worth watching. So that's something we're going to be thinking about doing. Alright, let's quickly show the results for our Ring of Honor episode this week. Anthony Ogogo calls out and cuts a promo on Josh Woods. So we're going to be doing Josh Woods and Ogogo for the Pure Championship, 36 for that one. Jay Lethal challenges Jonathan Gresham for the World Championship, 70 rated. Pretty good stuff there. The Gun Club, they defeat TNT. A fractured T-bone though for Terrell Dudley. I tell you what, that is two teams that will be very dangerous in the ring for the wrong reasons. 29 rated. We have a serious lack of tag teams in Ring of Honor. We really need to find someone ASAP, really, really badly, to at least be something viable for the Briscoes to deal with. Speaking of the Briscoes, they beat down the Guns post-match to set up for what will be the Briscoes and the Gun Club for the tag titles. Bobby Cruz announces that Ring of Honor has signed a big name, and they will be debuting very soon. So we are teasing what will be the big signing of Johnny Honor to the brand. I wanted to have Johnny Honor and Cesaro both appear on this show, but Cesaro was booked elsewhere. We're having that problem. A lot of our top names, Jonathan Gresham as well, he was booked elsewhere. So we may have that problem where we can't actually have people appear on the show. Dalton Castle took on Lee Moriarty for 55. Pretty good stuff. Dalton 55. These two have good chemistry, so a good, solid match. Not long enough, apparently. So for Ring of Honor, it needs to be minimum 18 minutes at least, if not 20. So that's going to be a problem. But Lee performed pretty well. 46 from him. That's really, really good. Deonna and Kiera Hogan went back and forth on the mic to set up for a future match between those two. Very good gimmick rating for Deonna, which is good to see as well. So happy with that. And next up, we had W. Morrissey taking on Jake Atlas for 48. So this is the debut of Morrissey. He had a 41 rated performance. Great gimmick. Jake Atlas performed at 51, so pretty good for that one. It was a shorter match. Post-match, though, was Brody King laying out Morrissey. So we're going to do a storyline between King and Morrissey heading into the pay-per-view, to the big guys fighting it out. We also have a lot of heels in Ring of Honor, I've noticed, and not enough babyfaces, so we had to make Morrissey a babyface just to kind of fill that gap. Jay Lethal had a match against PJ Black in our main event, 61 rated. Lethal 75, PJ 51. So a way just to give Lethal a win. So he's contending for the world title, heading into the pay-per-view. 53 rated show, pretty good stuff. Happy with that as we continue to build towards their first pay-per-view. Now for AEW Dark, let's jump into it. And we're going to hotshot a rivalry. I figured, okay, we probably got room for one more match on the pay-per-view, maybe even something on Rampage or Dynamite. I figured Brandy Rhodes is leaving, we might as well try and give something for Red Velvet out of this. So we're going to hotshot a quick little feud between Red and Rhodes, and that will culminate at the pay-per-view potentially. So Red Velvet voices her frustrations about the team's recent failures, 43 for that one. The Hybrid 2 took on Top Flight. Top Flight picked up the victory, 33 rated. Obviously, Jack Evans on his way out. We're going to try and have him put over some of our teams. And Top Flight is a team that desperately need that sort of big win. We had Orange Cassidy cutting a promo on the ladder match, 72 rated for that. That's actually pretty good from Cassidy, I'm surprised. So Red Velvet, she gets another opportunity here. She took on Britt Baker and she lost. Britt Baker picks up the win thanks to Brandy Rhodes' accidental interference, costing Red Velvet the match. So Britt Baker 46, Velvet 22. So yeah, really trying to hotshot this view. Lots of segments here, so we'll continue on. Bryan Danielson says that he would like to wrestle at the Ring of Honor Anniversary Show, so he's talking to William Regal. Of course, he's the man in charge of Ring of Honor in our game. 82 for that one. So yeah, we talked about it a moment ago. I'd love to have Danielson involved in a big match just to kind of put over that show. And I think we're going to have him maybe take on Matt Taven, just a guy who's middle of the card, a good opportunity for Danielson just to grab an easy win, spotlight one of the guys on the show. I thought about doing, maybe someone like someone who's been in Ring of Honor before. I thought maybe Christopher Daniels, maybe Adam Cole, maybe Kyle O'Reilly, someone like that. But I don't think we should give away just a massive match just because. So we'll just do a solid match to, get Danielson on the card. We might even throw somebody else on there too. I think having Samoa Joe on that card might be a beneficial move as well. Brandy Rhodes, yep, she's involved again. So here we go. 47 rated match. Brandy Rhodes was beaten by Penelope thanks to Red Velvet getting herself involved and costing Brandy the match. I did say we're hotshotting this thing. 3 segments. Luckily it's on Dark. Thank goodness nobody watches it anyway. So Brandy 56, Penelope 63. Inadvertently, we're trying to put over Penelope Ford as well. Trying to give her a bit of popularity with a win over Brandy. So it has a double purpose in the end. So we will do, I suppose, Red Velvet turning heel. Why not? So it's a success. The term, it worked. There we go. Brian Cage is furious. He vows to get revenge on Ricky Starks. 73 for that one. Sammy Guevara grabbed a win over Danny Garcia. 62 just to get Sammy on the card, doing something. He's been out of the mix for a while. Jay Cargill is here with the Acclaimed. And Max Caster, he has a rap about how great Jade is. So she's kind of, being talked up to in regard to her upcoming match with Statlander and Martinez. 52 for that one, pretty good. Main event, wow, actually not very good at all. The Pinnacle grabbed a win over the Dark Order, 49. I thought this would get around maybe 60, just to be a decent opportunity for the Pinnacle to be here, get a win, move on. Not to be. It should have been. Wardlow 73, Cash 73, Dax 69. It had enough there, but it just didn't deliver. So, unfortunately, not a good match, but a 59 overall show. And luckily, the Red Velvet and Brandy Rhodes didn't ruin the card. I mean, I can understand why the crowd didn't care by this point. They've seen enough of Brandy and Red. 30 minutes of those two. My God, that would put anyone to sleep. But yeah, 59 for the show. Alright, on to Rampage now. We've got Jake Atlas and Brian Pillman Jr. in the pre-show. Atlas 43, Pillman Jr. 41. We gave Pillman the victory. Moving on, Lance Archer gets a promo as well, 65. A little bit out of the mix is Lance. Not sure what to really do with him at the moment. Hopefully we can find something for him. I mean, Miro's another one as well, the TNT Championship. We don't really have anything for that on the pay-per-view as well, which is also a big issue. I think we really got to get the belt down the card, I feel, or at least something different, a different direction of some sorts. But yeah, there is a few guys we really got to try and find something for. The Undisputed Elite call out the Blackpool Combat Club and meet them in the ring, and they talk about their big issues heading into the pay-per-view. In the end, the Undisputed Elite do cheap shot the BCC on their way out. So 93 for that one. So yeah, adds a bit of heat, back and forth promo between the two groups, cheap shot at the end. 93 advances both storylines and elevates them both, which is good. Darby Malachi, they get a win over the Men of the Year, 59 rated match. Darby 72, Malachi 77. So Darby right there with Malachi. So he's not far away from performing at that high main event level. Ethan Page 48, Scorpio 44. And post-match, the Young Bucks come out and super kick the House of Black. So Buddy Matthews was there as well as Brody King, and the Young Bucks able to get the cheap shot in and take them out. So 75 for that one, advancing that storyline. MJF, he has a match and he defeats Trent about 7 minutes. Quick victory for MJF, 84 from him. Trent 46. So a nice win there from MJF just to get him in the mix. Cody Rhodes has a promo. He says that the games will end at Revolution and he will be the winner once and for all against Kenny Omega. 84 for the promo. Good stuff from Cody, one of his last ones he's ever going to do. So, our main event. Okay, this is actually delivered. We had a fatal 4-way match. So the 4-way with Christian Cage, Will Hobbs, Cassidy, and Rey Fenix as we build towards the Revolution ladder match. I realized it's been very just promo, not too much in the ring, because I was kind of worried, a lot of the top names in this match, they haven't debuted yet, Swerve, Andrade, Keith Lee's just kind of starting out. So I was worried to put this in the, put this feud in the ring, but this is certainly delivered. Christian 74, Will Hobbs 60, Cassidy 61, Rey Fenix the best of the match 77. So everyone performed pretty well. We gave the win to Christian Cage. He has the most popularity heading in, and we're kind of presenting him as the guy, most likely, on his way to a victory. So yeah, really good stuff there. So 79, a much better match than I expected. It does give us a 76 rated edition of Rampage, which for Rampage at this moment, I think that's fine. Mid 70s, I think we can live with that every single week. I mean, even in real life, Rampage certainly dropped off. It's not a must watch. I don't even watch Rampage personally. So for us, it's important to keep storylines happening and keep Rampage important, but I still think we've got to make Dynamite our main focus every week. Alright, let's take a look at the results of all the fallout from Dynamite and Rampage. So starting off with Dynamite, we had 802,000 viewers in total. Not too bad. Our Rampage show had 683,000 as well, which is pretty solid. We might take a quick look at Ring of Honor's rating as well. So they had their recent show, of course, which we booked. Let's take a look. It was a 53 rated, 232,000 in total. 172,000 on TNT. So of course we have Ring of Honor on TNT in our game. Kind of filling the void that Dynamite left by leaving TNT, just having it on a different day and later time schedule as well. So that's kind of pretty much sums it up of what's going on with us. We've got just 8 days to go until Revolution, so we have one last week of shows before we get through to the pay-per-view. I'm pretty happy with where things are heading. CM Punk and MJF storyline is obviously going really well. No surprise. Cody and Kenny's been up and down, but for the most part, it's been pretty good. We're trying to get other guys over whilst having Cody stay strong in some kind of way. Obviously, the BCC and Undisputed Elite, it's got 2 different storylines going on. Both of them doing pretty well. House of Black and Young Bucks is solid. Even Martinez, Statlander, and Jade is strong. It's good. It's decent for where the women are at. The Revolution ladder match, 75 for the storyline heat. That's much better than I expected. Starks and Cage has been pretty good too. That's going to be a solid match in the middle of the card. even the Superbad and TJ, having 57 for that is pretty crazy. Obviously, you know, the eye candy stuff has changed the game with the women's division. And we've hot-shotted Red Velvet and Brandy Rhodes as well, so we might even try and squeeze that on, you know, some sort of show, maybe the pre-show, maybe the main card, I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment. Obviously, we've had the big rebranding, the refresh here in the last month, so we've lost all our historic data, but we still are building towards, I feel like, a pretty good episode of, a pretty good pay-per-view, I should say, at Revolution. And obviously beyond that, we're going to start kicking up a bit, get towards Double or Nothing. We might even have a couple of our own little shows along the way. Last time we did The House Always Wins, so I think we probably will do something like that again. Then Double or Nothing. I don't know if we can do Forbidden Door. I mean, we do have some sort of relationship with New Japan. I believe we can probably loan talent. Yeah, so we could ask them to do something there. So we probably could pull it off. We might have to try and check beforehand, but you know, even if we try and maybe build Ring of Honor a little bit, we could have a Ring of Honor versus AEW Super Show potentially. I don't know if it's going to be in a healthy enough state if we to be able to do that. But there's a few options there anyways. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have time for this edition of Total Extreme Wrestling. We'll be back with another one very soon. Thanks for watching. Leave a like on it if you enjoyed it and subscribe to see more. Thanks, guys.